What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Garage. I'm still out here working on this 78 Malibu Classic. So today I'm getting into a little bit more of doing the electrical. So today I'm pretty much focused on getting the electric fans in and wired up. So I'm gonna show you guys what we got going on here in a second. All right, so what I'm up to now is I'm pretty much preparing to get these electric fans installed. So I've been kind of trying to prep the car. So I got a couple little spots where I can kind of run my ground wires to the chassis. So that's what I'm doing now, just tapping a couple of spots. That way I can use either one of these holes for the ground wires that I'm gonna run to the chassis. So I got a control box over here that I'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit, but it's got to have a good chassis ground going to it. And I'll probably talk about these fans in a little bit too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the car a little bit more. I'm gonna finish tapping these holes and double check my bolts. So basically what I'm trying to do is get a couple of some 1/4 inch -20 bolts to thread in there. And I got some connectors and stuff. So I'm running for the ground and the control circuit, I'm running all 10 gauge wire. Also the power and supply wires are going to be 10 gauge going to the fan. So that's plenty enough power for these fans right here. So once I kind of get things cleaned up a little bit on my workbench, I'll come back and talk about a few other things. So you can kind of see I got all kind of tools and wiring kind of all over the place. But after I get this hole, after I finish tapping this hole, then I'll be able to put some of this stuff up and I'll be able to kind of show you guys exactly what's going on with this project. All right, so this right here is the fan controller that I'm gonna be installing on this car. It's from the Auto Cool guy. It's the HF125. So I did another video last year, about a year and a half ago, where I installed a similar box, which was the NB100. So these are variable speed control boxes. So they basically kind of help take some of the load off the charging system, and they basically operate based on the temperature that the engine's at. So basically it can cool the engine. I think the range is somewhere between 40% and 100%, and then when the AC's on, you know, they can automatically come on. You can set a range for that though, but usually when AC is on, we just normally have them come on at 100%. And then also there's a fail-safe override where you can have a switch in the car and flip it and turn the fans on to full power. So I've been using these style boxes, I want to say, since 2018, because back then on one of my cars, my 73 Chevy Impala, I was trying to research fan control boxes, and I just kept seeing a lot of bad reviews on some of them. But you know, fast forward now to 2024, it's some other fan controllers on the market that may be up to the task. I don't know, but I've had good experience with these right here. So this is what I normally recommend, just because I know that they work and they're good products. So one of the reasons I like running them is because they got like the solid state transistors or whatever, so you don't have to worry about any relays burning out or anything like that. So because like with some of the other setups, if you got a relay, you can have a relay fail on you. You can get too hot and you can lose your fan. So to me, this is more reliable of a setup. All right, so I'm gonna pretty much let you guys check out the other video that I did if y'all want to know a little bit more information about this and also the install of it. But I am going to kind of touch on some things a little bit while I'm kind of working on this car right here, which is the 1978 Malibu Classic. So yeah, these are the fans. Got two 12-inch Spall fans. I believe these are from Champion radiator. I forgot exactly where the customer got them from, but so it's probably similar to that fan shroud that I put in the box Chevy, but it's just got different fans. So instead of like the monster cooling fans, it's got some really nice Spall fans on here. So Spall fans are known for high performance and pulling some real good airflow, and they're known for building good motors and stuff like that. So they're more the reliable fans. So even other companies like Derail and stuff like that, they use their motors. They just change the blades and stuff. Like they got different blade styles, but Spall is one of the top the top fan manufacturers out there for as far as high performance fans. So I actually work on BMWs and some of the M cars, like the M3s, and a lot of the M cars use you'll see Spall on the fan motor. So they have a real good reputation for making high quality, high performance fans. So back over here, this is some of the wiring. So they got 10 gauge, some real nice thick 10 gauge wiring for the ground. You can run 12 gauge wire on this, but it's better to run 10 because 10 is just going to give you the best juice for like these fans right here. So there are different variations of fans. Like some of them have like the bigger motor. So some of them have so you got the low profile motors and you got some of the big motors, and some of them are even brushless. But these right here, these are kind of like a medium performance, but they still pull a lot of air. All right, so these fans right here, they probably pull, I think they're rated at almost 1300 CFM a piece, but I would say somewhere around 12 to 1300 CFM a piece. So that puts them around like 2600 CFM total. All right, so this fan control box right here, it works a little bit differently from like some of the other ones on the market. So it uses a little bit of power to turn it on, but basically what it's controlling is the ground side. So it uses this sensor right here, and this sensor, instead of it being like a lot of them got the sensors where it's reading the engine temp. This right here is for the gauge right here, but a lot of them they kind of like they go by the temperature that the engine's at, and you can phase it. But this one right here goes by the temperature that's measured over here on the lower radiator hose. So that's basically the outlet hose of the radiator. So basically the hot water rather will come into the top, or the hot coolant, whatever you want to call it, will come into the top of the radiator. And as it gets cooled down by the process of just kind of coming through the radiator, whether you're going down the road, you got fresh air coming through the radiator, or the fans pulling the hot air out of the radiator, that gets cooled down and it gets over here to your the outlet. So basically the coolant that's going to the engine is cooler than the engine that's coming out, the coolant that's coming out of the engine into the radiator. So this right here is coolant. It's cooler, it's colder. But what that sensor kind of mounts behind the hose, like right here, kind of sits right over here. So that's where that sensor is going to mount. It's right there on the lower radiator hose. So it's basically measuring how cool the radiator is. And then once that temperature gets above a certain threshold, then it'll turn on your fan. So I'll probably talk more about it later, but basically you got ignition hot that comes in here, battery, you got a ground, and then you got the sensor, which is this here. So this got two areas. It don't really matter which way they go. It's got two sensor connections. See where it say SEN, two sensor connections. Then you got the AC input. So basically if you turn the AC on, that'll supply voltage to this. It knows that the AC is on, so it can turn the fans on right away, no matter where the temperature is at. And then you got a fail-safe, which is an override switch. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's really simple to power up. And then that's your input side here, and the output side over here is you can connect, dual fans up to it. I'm just gonna put two connections, and then you got your ground, your chassis ground. So pretty much that's kind of all it is to it. It's not really it's pretty simple to wire up. So pretty much what I wanted to explain is that this fan pretty much, it controls the ground side of the fans in what they call pulse width modulation. So that's a lot of That's pretty much a lot of manufacturers use it, but back in the day, like a lot of German manufacturers like Mercedes and BMW would use that. So it's like a square wave signal, and they use that by controlling the ground. So it's like they're kind of basically switching it on and off at various rates, and that can that's a more stable control versus trying to vary the voltage on the power side. So basically you put full power directly to the fan. You don't put any like major power to the box except for just input power, and that's just ignition hot and just a constant battery hot. Everything else is pretty much just, you know, your AC input. So you're like and the failsafe is basically just a ground to ground. So basically all it is just tripping. It's just on the ground circuit where you wire the switch in, and then when it trips the other side of the ground, when it completes the circuit, it turns the fans on. So I'm probably losing a lot of people here, but some people that understand electrical and stuff like that, they kind of get where I'm coming from. So but everything's in the instructions. I do more of a I think I do more of a comprehensive or more in-depth rundown in the video I did on that box Chevy that I did last time. So pretty much these right here are the fuse holders. So like I said, this kit right here has where they got 40 amp fuses in there, which is plenty. So I say with these fans, anywhere between 30 and 40 amps, you're good. But this right here is nice because it's like a weatherproof connector. This is actually made by Delphi. So it's made by Delphi, and what's nice about them is it's got a nice weather pack seal. So these are protected. Your fuse goes in there, and then they go into this cover, and you're pretty much good to go. So this right here is what's going to supply power to the fans directly from the battery. So these are going to be connected directly to the battery, and then they're going to go to this fan connector there. So the place on the battery where I'm going to connect them is like kind of like right in there, and then those holders will sit somewhere on here. I got to figure out exactly where I'm going to map everything out at, but they're going to sit somewhere right there. The fan control box, I got to figure out exactly where I'm going to put it, but it's going to be somewhere in this vicinity on the driver's side of the car. So either kind of right in here or right there. So I'm still kind of playing around with a few places that I'm gonna mount it, but you can see right here I got a couple areas where, you know, I'm gonna ground it. Got that. So basically what's next is just pretty much trying to get this fan assembly in the car. All right, so up next, you see the connectors that's on this fan here. So I really don't like those style connectors, and plus, I mean, I think they do sell like they sell like another kit where you can kind of plug these in. But what I like to do, I like to cut these ends off of these fans, and I like to install a kit like this, similar to a Delphi 2-pin. So these are weather pack connectors. So the reason I like to do that is mainly it helps out with ease of serviceability, and then, I mean, it just kind of makes it more plug and play. So basically, like if you got to take this fan assembly out to work on like the belt drive or anything like that, you can just kind of pull the whole, like how the assembly is out of there now, you can just pull the whole assembly out with the you can actually dismount this this fan shroud from here, from the radiator, because I got it attached to the radiator. So I talked about that in an earlier video. So you can either do that, or the main thing is if you got to do something, you can just snatch the radiator out with the fans, and you can get to whatever you need to get to if you had to take it out. But basically, to me, it's just ease of serviceability. So it just makes it more simpler. That's pretty much what I've done in my car, and pretty much every car that I do that if they want electric fans, if I do electric fans for them, that's pretty much the route that I go with. That's what I recommend. That's what I strongly recommend. So I put these Delphi weather pack connectors in here. So this kind of protects the connectors from moisture and you know, stuff like that, and corrosion if they get wet. So it's plenty of benefits to them. And then it helps me have like the side that's going to plug into the fans, like the power and ground wire go here. So and it just gives me more flexibility to kind of wire it up how I want to. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna put these connectors on there, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these in the car, and then from there I'll start kind of wiring up like the ground wires, and then we got our fan supply wires here, which are going to be these blue wires here, and then we're going to put the fuse holder. So the fuse holder is going to be somewhere in between the battery and this blue wire here, and this blue wire is going to run to my connector. So I'll show you guys that once I get some of this stuff all wired up, just to give you an idea. So right now I'm crimping the wires on the connector. I already cut these off. So I got my wire strippers for that, and then I got you want some wire crimping pliers that are like this. So these will let you those will let you crimp the weather pack connectors. So basically, I've already crimped that wire. So when you get it crimped down, this is the result you're looking for. So you got the wire crimped in there, and then you got your the other end where the wire installation, at least that's where this one goes. Got the wire installation. In this case, the weather pack boot is in there, and then this right here is my other weather pack boot. So I'm just gonna slide that onto there, and then once I get this side over here, this other one crimped, I'm gonna slide it into my connector housing here. So I'm gonna slide that in there. So this is gonna be the style connector that's gonna be on the fan side, and some of them say A and B, like down here, so you can kind of keep up with them. So this is a Delphi style right here. So a lot of other companies kind of make the Delphi weather pack. It used to be a different brand. So but basically this is more like a early GM style connector on a lot of like 80s cars and stuff. But you know, a lot of people use them for, you know, universal projects or custom stuff. So that's what I'm doing in this case. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this knocked out, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done with it. All right, here we go right here. So we got the I got the connectors installed on here. So this is what it looked like when you put the weather pack connector ends on the fan. So that's ready to drop in the car. And I got the other side of the connector here, which is where the power and ground wire are gonna go when I run those. So, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready to go in the car. All right, so I got the radiator fan shroud assembly in here. It's installed, got everything tightened down, got the nice new radiator support on there. So pretty much from here I just gotta get my power and ground wires ran, which are gonna connect down here to these connectors. Well, another thing I like to do is, you probably can't see it, but I put a plus where the positive is. The positive is the blue wires that are coming out of the fan, and the ground's the black. And then over here I got the sensor mounted down there on the that lower radiator hose. So that's where it sits. And these sensor wires here, this is the other end of it. Those two are gonna go over to the box. So I went on and got my transmission wires and stuff like that connected. So I just got a couple more things. I got the little vent line to put over there, and then I got I'm probably not gonna put the upper radiator hose in yet. It'll go in later. I've already went on ahead and mounted the box, and what I'm doing now is starting to work on some of the ground wires. So I'm starting to wire up the other side of the connector for the fan. So this is what that connector looks like. I already got one of them down in there for one of the fans. So that's going to one of the fans, and the other connector is going to be right here. So I'm in the process of getting ready to cut this ground wire right here off, and both of those ground wires are going to go to the fan terminal right there. That's what's going to control the fans. And then on the other side of the harness is going to be the hot wire, which is going to run over to those fuses over here to the battery. So I'm not sure if I talked about the sensor down there, but I got the sensor mounted. So a little bit after I put the fan and radiator assembly in, I got the sensor mounted right there, you know, and it's got the sensor has these two wires here, which are going to attach over to the box once I start routing it out. So I kind of like to secure everything along kind of like the bottom of the like the radiator support. So all the wires are going to be kind of neatly ran down there. So right now I'm kind of mapping out, and also this is one of them right here. So after I get like the length that I want,
cut. That's why I kind of cut some of these a little extra long. And I'm kind of gonna make like a couple different little harnesses and put some of the what's they call that, the wire protector, the wire loom over them, and kind of they're gonna be zip tied down there to the harness, to the radiator support. All right, so that's pretty much my ground harness right there. So I'm just gonna cut these zip ties off, and then I'm gonna slide a little bit right here on there, and then that'll be the ground harness. And then the on the positive side, that harness will be similar, but the positive wire will go into these connectors here, and it'll kind of be pretty much just a left and right harness, but it'll be at the bottom of the radiator support. But you'll still be able to quick disconnect these fans and lift the fans out of the car. All right, so here's what I've been up to on the fan install. So I've been pretty much moving along on this thing, but just to catch you guys up to speed. So you can see in there are the connectors. So I went on and ran the positive harness for the hot side, and I've also started to get some wires ran for the this green wire is going to be for the AC input terminal over here at the fan controller. This red is going to be ignition hot, and this black is going to be the fail safe. And then I gotta have another little small ground wire, pretty much just to turn on the box. So so once the box is turned on, it's just gonna strictly control the ground side. So you can see I got the ground wires ran. You don't see it on there, but it says fan up under these wires over here on the left side. It says fan. Actually, it says it right there, right here. But it also says it on the board, on the green, on the PC board. It says it too. So that's your fan, and then that's your chassis ground, which the chassis ground is going right there. And then I got these ran nice and neat for the ground harness, which go into that connector. Those connected down there. So those Delphi 2-pin weather pack connectors. So pretty much earlier, I probably already mentioned that, but that's pretty much for serviceability. That way you can disconnect the harness. So the harness is going to be secured at the bottom of the fan, of the radiator fan assembly. And if in the event, you need to take that out, you can basically unplug those connectors and pull the radiator and the fan shroud out together. But over here now, just fast forward, because I pretty much just been, working, trying to get this thing knocked out. So got the positive side harness, which is pretty much running this side, coming along here, and that's what I'm working on now. So I'm working on getting those wires. I'm working on putting the butt connection in right here for that, and I got that stuff right here in this pan here. Pretty much that is what I'm working on now. So once I gotta do that one. And then once that's done, I can kind of cover these up with this wire loom. So that'll be in there. And then the other side of these wires is going to connect to this battery cable terminal. So basically, this is getting these wires for the fan positive is going to be getting straight power from the battery into these connectors here, which are mounted here. So this is a Delphi fuse holder, as I mentioned earlier. So basically that fuse will go right there, and it's nice in this cover here where it's protected from dust and water. And basically it's almost like plugging in a connector, except it's a fuse. So basically you just plug that bad boy in there like that, and that's one of them. So you got fan 1, fan 2, whatever, or A and B, whatever you want to call it. And you can just come in here, and if you can check your fuses or whatever. So it's gonna be 2 40-amp fuses gonna go in there. So I'm gonna continue on with that, and I got some other wires ran back here. Just pretty much so I had to kind of dig into the harness a little bit, and because on this setup, the AC compressor is over on the passenger side. So this right here, instead of having to get the AC wire from over there, because that's where the compressor was initially at on the driver's side, this is basically the harness for the blower motor and the AC. But there's an AC supply wire that comes off of this that thermostat system there. I'm not 100% sure if that's working like it's supposed to, but it'll pretty much, I checked all the, I know pretty much from on this other side of the connector on, I know like I got good continuity and stuff like that. I checked my wiring, make sure that's checking out. So I really didn't want to cut this connector that's on this CVF belt drive. It comes with one of those kind of, like if I pull this off, it's like one of these style connectors there. So I really didn't want to cut. I'm not sure if that'll interfere with the warranty with the AC compressor. So I had some of these little kind of connectors right here. I'm not really a big fan of these, but that's what I'm gonna use to get that secured. I'm just gonna put that in on the end of here. Once I kind of get everything settled, I just gotta double check a few things. But basically, when the AC comes on, it's also gonna send a signal over there to the fan controller, and the fan controller basically turn the fans on at the same time that the AC is on. And when the AC turns off, it'll go back either to off, or it'll go to whatever the default is on what I guess the engine is. So it may go to a lower fan speed depending on you know, whatever the temperature reading is. So so I mentioned before that box is variable speed, but I believe that the engine temperature does override the AC, but the AC should be at pretty much at 100%. But you know, so basically it can come on and off. But a lot of times the AC is gonna put the fans at 100%. But let's say you just, you know, you're cruising down the road and it don't need 100%. Once the AC is off, it may run the fans at 70% or 80% or whatever. So, but I'm just finishing up, kind of getting a few things wired up and kind of doing multiple things at one time. So sorry for my voice. I got a little cold here, so I'm, you know, still working on this right here, trying to get this thing up and ready to roll. So, while I'm in here, pretty much those are some more wires that are from the control box, but they're in that little slim wire loom there, the one that looks a little newer. So I'm just trying to make things as neat as possible, but all this just pretty much is right here because a lot of this is gonna run into the inside. This white wire is for the temp sensor for the gauge. The black and red, like I showed you, is for the ignition hot and the fail safe. So those are gonna kind of run inside and kind of get connected to an ignition source, probably off the fuse box or something like that. So a lot of that stuff will get cleaned up. All right, so what I'm up to now is for the other side of the basically the fuse holder. So the power wires for the fans. So the other side, this is the short harness here. That's gonna go from basically those fuse wires over to the battery. So pretty much what I got right here is two 10 gauge wires, but I'm kind of running them together so they can go in that battery terminal. So I normally kind of just get them tied up like this, nice and tight together, kind of almost like I'm making like another sub harness. But these are both gonna allow both of these wires to connect to the battery and use one of the so it's like a top and bottom connection, or these holes here, so you can run up to an 8 gauge wire in there. So, and you've got these little Allens that can secure it tight. So versus having to tie up, you know what I'm saying, both holes, we use the other one for something else if we need to later on down the line. but I normally just run them into one. Also, what I kind of do, just for a little bit of reliability, just to kind of help out with the loan, you know, to reduce corrosion and all that stuff. I put a little bit of solder, cause this side right here is what's gonna go in that terminal, but kind of like around there, I just put a little bit of solder in there, so that kind of keep the wires from unraveling over time and stuff like that, and that's been pretty successful for me when I do these type of installs on these fans, so that kind of help out. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do now. So I got my adjustable soldering gun here. So that thing, this adjustable soldering gun has been pretty handy. I've had it maybe for a couple years now, 2.5 years, but I can kind of, versus it getting too hot on me, I can kind of set the temperature exactly where I want to. It's in Celsius, so you got to kind of convert it, but it's like a little range. I think right now it's at 350 degrees C, which I'll have to convert that over to Fahrenheit to see what it is, but that's a pretty good number that I use. So you can lower it, you can adjust it higher or lower, but I find that using an adjustable soldering gun is better than a regular soldering gun, because sometimes regular soldering gun may get too hot on you and you end up, you know what I'm saying, kind of messing up your solder. So I can kind of dial this one in where I want it at, and I can hit it and the solder will be, you know, perfect like I want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that knocked out. All right, so this right here, the finished product. You can hardly see the solder, but the solder is more so on this side right here. I basically just put this heat shrink around it just to kind of keep the two wires just more together, and just makes it easy to put in there. Soldering it is not necessary, but you know, I think it kind of helped. You know, I think it kind of helps, you know, just keep the wires together and kind of reduce the corrosion, in my opinion. But you know, this is pretty much how I do it. And I've already got one kind of cut the size. The other one I'm just gonna map it out and cut it as I go and get everything connected up over there. All right, so here we go right here. So I got that little part that I just did. I got that over here secured in the battery terminal here. And what I'm doing now is kind of cutting and getting the wires. I've already got them crimped. So at these butt connectors here. So to kind of, you know, where I got the fuse hoses located, just kind of make stuff look nice and neat. This right here, I still need to trim that down and get the second one. So I'm gonna trim that right in there in this blue one here. And when I get done with it, it's gonna look nice and neat. And I will be able to put a little bit of wire loom around it to kind of make it look a little neater. But it'll be kind of coming from the battery, just like so. And once I get done with that, like once we put fuses in here, that'll be the fans will be powered up. Once we get everything operational with the box, it'll be ready to get tested. All right, so I almost got this bad boy wrapped up over here as far as the wiring. So pretty much I'm about to get ready to crimp that last wire, and you see how I got it. You know, it's nice and neat. It's pretty much as nice and neat as I can make it, because you know, all of it depends on the type of car it's going in. You know, some cars are bigger or smaller than others, and some cars got, you know, stuff. It just depends on where everything is under the hood and how you gotta locate your accessories and stuff like that. But that kind of all depend on where everything gets kind of laid out and everything like that, though. But I kind of got a system, or the way I do these type of installs when I'm doing the electric fans, and also with this particular control box. But even if it was a different control box, it would be pretty much a similar layout, depending on how the control box work, how it operate, whether it's got to have power, ground, or whatever. This one controls the ground side. I know I mentioned that a bunch of times, but you know, got some out there that control the power side. So it just depends on you know, how the setup works. So, but yeah, but pretty much I just wanted to just point out the importance of using some good quality tools, good crimpers. This right here is this is made by Mountain Tools. I got this off of one of the tool trucks, but I can change these adapters out here, and this is for crimping open barrel. So that's your non-insulated. Those are also ratcheted too. So I got these side cutters there. So those right there from Summit. So these work real good with crimping like 10 and 12 and 8 gauge wire. These bigger ones. So on the smaller wires, you know, like on the smaller ones, this style here work a little bit better in my case. So so basically having, you know, set of crimpers, and then I can swap these out. Like if I got some insulated terminals, I can swap them out to the different ones, and I can make those crimps. But on a project like this, especially when you're doing a lot of custom wiring and stuff, you can cut your wires to the length that you want it. I can pretty much come in here and basically, you know, make my own harness and stuff like I'm doing now. But it allows you to kind of make good, reliable connections, and also you got your reliability and everything like that. You don't have to worry about, you know, something shorting out or you having a bad connection. So this stuff here get you all your wires and stuff tight. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Like you're doing something like this, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you invest in them tools, your wire crimpers and stuff like that. And I think y'all seen where I did the Big 3 kit for the alternator. I invested in a hydraulic crimper. I got the manual one, but I invested in a hydraulic one to you know, just kind of speed things up a little bit. But I see a big benefit in that. So definitely, you know, when your electrical tools on point, you can do a good quality job. So I still got a few things like all over the place up under the hood that I got to kind of clean up, but I'm gonna still continue on with this video here. It's pretty much talking about getting this fan controller installed and getting the fans up and operational. So almost there. Got a few more little loose ends to tie up, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up over there, and then that's pretty much gonna be that's probably gonna be it for right now. And then I'll finish wrapping up everything, and then we'll get to the point where we put power to it, and I can kind of test a few things out, and I can finish getting this right here connected, and then I can kind of test this out. At least be able to, you know, turn the fans on, make sure the fail safe and stuff like that working, and the AC input. And then the final test to be when it's running, when the temperature kind of creeps up, I can kind of, you know, do a couple little base settings to, you know, make sure the fans are coming on like it's supposed to. All right, folks. So here's a quick update on this cooling system, weather fans, and the control box. That's pretty much what this video is about. But so got a few things cleaned up. I think the last thing I did here was basically all the supply wires and things that turn on the box. I got that ran. I still have some wires as far as that go on the inside of the car that's gonna basically turn on the ignition hot and stuff like that. So I was able to modify one of the wires on the car that I wasn't gonna need. Basically the old alternator charging wire that's on the that's already in the hot circuit. So it's already battery positive hot. As far as the supply wire, the one that's hot at all times, the one that says battery, BAT, pretty much the only reason to have that one fuse protected is pretty much like right here where it says in the instructions here, is just to prevent the wire from getting burnt up if you ever have a short to ground. So basically That's like if this box malfunctions and there's an issue, versus it, your wire being what they would call a fusible link. Basically, your wire burning up and causing a fire or anything, which is probably rare, but in the case that did happen, you'd be protected. So that's why I got a fuse in here. So I mentioned I got a 3-amp fuse in there. They recommend a 1 to a 2 amp, but the smallest I got was a 3. Usually on my other setups, that's what I run, about a 3-amp fuse. So got that installed. So got this smaller ground wire that I got here running right here, that goes right there to the ground connection. That's gonna be the ignition hot. This red wire, the black is the fail safe. Well, that black is the ground, but this other black over here is the fail safe. So that's gonna be running in the car to a switch, and the green is the AC. So pretty much got all that stuff sorted out. The connectors are over there nice and neat. All right, over here on the battery side, so those are the power wires and the fuses and stuff like that. So basically I just got to come in here and put a couple 40-amp fuses in there. That's going to be the supply for the fans coming from the battery. So both of these 10-gauge wires are getting fed to these fuse connectors, and then that's going to go on to the fans, and they get a constant positive supply, so they're constantly hot. So pretty much what turns them on, the fans on, is that control box over there, and you can override that with the fail-safe switch. So that's pretty much what we got going so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Garage. Once I get this thing kind of up and going, I probably will show. Got a few more things before I actually get the engine started, but I will do a little bit of like testing on the box, like make sure like when we trip the fail safe and stuff like that. So it's ways to kind of check. It does a little self-test, which I'll demonstrate in another video. Basically, like when you first key the ignition on, if everything's good, the fans, they'll do like a test spin for like 1 or 2 seconds. So they'll basically you'll see them spin just a little bit, then stop. So that basically like the self-test. So that pretty much lets you know that you got everything hooked up right. And then from there, we can kind of we can flip the fail-safe switch, and we should get full power on the fans. And another thing I can do, I can come in, with my voltmeter, I can kind of come to check, make sure all my voltages and everything are good right there. So that's a couple things I can do. But again, thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Garage. See you guys on the next video.